Hey everybody, welcome to Yoga with Anadil. I'm Anadil. In today's class, we are working through Sun Salutations B, Surya Namaskar B. This sequence is very structured and repeats several times, although just one round at any time of day will certainly set you up. When it'll work through the whole body, warm through the whole body, and even get the heart pumping. As you build up strength and your practice and your stamina, you can do more and more rounds to really get that heart pumping and to build a little bit more strength in the core as you go along. So please get your mat, and I'll see you on the mat in a mo. So today we are beginning our class standing. So let's start at the top of the mat with our feet together. I like to start by pointing down, pressing down my little toes, spreading all the way through to the big toes, and then connecting the big toes to allow the feet to press together. I also like to keep a little bit of space in between the heels, just so that I'm nice and open in my sacrum. So let's do that. And we'll just allow the arms to rest onto the side of us in Utkatasana, the mountain pose. And just spend a moment or two cultivating a slower, wider breath. Today we will be, as we do in our yoga classes, traveling alongside the breath. So just take a couple of moments to slow down the breath, widening perhaps the breath through the sides of the ribs, just so that we can get focused and aware and stay with the breath as we move through our Sun Salutation B. As we breathe our next breath in, we'll bend through the knees and raise on up through the hands. So pointing the fingertips forward, the palms are facing towards each other. We raise those fingertips up towards the sky. And we'll gently raise the gaze ahead of us, if that feels okay for you, as we sit a little deeper into our chair pose. The tailbone is heading down, just in case we're flicking our tailbone up. And if there's a lot of kind of looseness and space in the front of the body, just invite a little bit of control by taking the belly button back towards your spine and the ribs towards the back. So nice and strong in our core. And a lot of the weight is now in the heels. Maybe we fluff up the toes and we breathe as we sit and get fierce in this chair pose, Utkatasana. Keep breathing. Remember that slow, wide breath. One more breath. And as we breathe the next breath out, we'll take the fingertips down towards the earth. You can keep a softness in the knees as you reach your fingertips onto the ground. The crown of the head falls towards the mat. And we'll take a couple of breaths just to ease into our first forward fold. I quite like to just sway from side to side, so invite you to join me in that today. And just please make sure the breath is flowing. Come into stillness if you're swaying. As we breathe our next breath in, we'll straighten through the legs as much as you can. Straighten through the arms. Now you might end up on fingertips. You may have your hands on shins or even the thighs, hugging the elbows and shoulders back. Into our half rise, into a flat back position, including the back of the neck. So take a couple of breaths again, just to cultivate the breath here. I would invite a little bit of energy into the knees and the thighs here, so we're standing strong in our lower half. as we breathe openly through the belly. As we breathe the next breath out, bend through the knees, take your palms to the earth underneath the shoulders. We'll lift through the right leg, take it all the way back and place it down. And we'll lift through the left leg into plank. Now for the first round today, I'd like us all to drop to our knees as we sweep the inside of the elbows forward. And we again, if we're sinking into our spine, we just invite the front of the body to hug into the back body. As we breathe in, we'll stand tall out through our arms. And as we breathe out, we keep the elbows stacked over our wrists as we bring our chin and chest to the earth. Let's flatten through the feet. And next breath in, engage the legs and press the tops of the feet down. The knees are up, the thighs are up with the energy. And we'll curl on up into our cobra. Please keep the navel hugging in and the heart hugging back for strength in the torso. As we breathe out, we'll bow this one down, being the first one. And as we breathe in, we'll curl on up into our down dog as we breathe out. Now traditionally here, you stay for perhaps 5 breaths or more. I would suggest as you're starting out, maybe just try 1 or 2 breaths here. And with practice, in time, that will increase as your stamina builds and your strength builds. Let's all raise on up through the right leg, pointing down with the toes, down with the knees, with the knee. And as we breathe out, we're going to bend that knee, bring it into nose and step your foot in between your hands. It helps to roll on that back foot and step it through wherever it lands, you help it along. Dropping the back foot down onto its heel so that the pelvis is facing us forward as much as you can. And as we breathe in, we lift our heart up over our hips, continue rising on up as we raise our fingertips to the sky, bending through that front knee. And again, you can take a few breaths here. We don't need to rush along with every breath if you do not wish to. And in fact, as you're building up, it's important just to stay with your breath. And then as we breathe our next breath out, I like to bend through my elbows, melt the shoulder blades down towards the earth, and then reach my palms underneath my shoulders. The front leg comes back to the back leg into plank. Now again, you can do the version we just did by bringing your knees down towards the earth, or you might like to try rolling on your toes, bringing your heart down towards the ground. Now you can stop at elbow height or come down onto your belly. If you're at elbow height, then you lift into upward dog, where your thighs are off the ground. But please pull up your knees, your thighs, and your navel towards your spine to stop overloading the tops of the feet. And as we breathe out, we'll hinge on over into down dog. And you take a couple of breaths there. And again, this is the place where you center back to your breath. You center back to your focus as the mind may be racing. Maybe just take a few more breaths. And then we'll do the other side. So we're going to lift through the left leg. Again, just dialing down the toes and the knee to point towards the earth. And as we breathe out, we'll bend that knee, bring it into nose, rock on the back foot to step it through. Again, helping it along. as you need to with your hand. Let's drop that back foot towards the earth. Ground deeply, especially the pinky edge of that back foot, and raise on up through the heart as you lift your hands up towards the sky. Excuse me, I have a hair in my mouth. And then keep your fingertips pointing, there you go, I've got it. Keep your fingertips pointing towards the sky. Keep an openness in the neck and shoulders. And bend through that front knee, keeping that front knee over the ankle as much as you can. Breath in, lift the heart, but keep a nice controlled core through the navel and spine. As we breathe out, let's melt through the shoulder blades. Place the hands down towards the earth. Pivot on that back foot to level through the hips, bringing that front foot to the back. And again, you have the choice of knees coming down to your chin and chest onto the earth and cobra, or you can roll on your toes, bring your heart in line with your elbows, and then lift into upward dog. Shoulders are back, maybe the gaze is forward, maybe a little bit higher up, and then everybody, let's lift into our down dog. Pressing into the knuckles. Take a little softness in the knees. Invite the belly back towards your thighs so that you can lengthen through the spine a little bit more. And again, let's avoid sinking into our spine. So draw the front of the body into the back of the body to be nice and strong. Let's take a look at our hands, because that's where we're going to be traveling through to. So you can have a choice of stepping, walking your feet up towards your hands. You can step one foot and then the other, or if you like, you can hop or float up towards the hands. So let's all meet at the top of the mat. And with the feet together, we lift our back into half rise. So again, fingertips, shins or thighs with your hands. As you breathe in and out. And as you breathe out, we'll slide our hands to meet the earth into our forward fold, bending the knees if you need to ground. It's quite nice to rest your thighs here and then rest onto your thighs here and then kind of lift your navel off your spine. As we breathe our next breath in, we're lifting through the hands and sitting into our fierce chair pose. So rising on up with the hands, we're going to sit the tailbone down into that chair as the heart and gaze and fingertips rise. Again, just take a quick look down at your toes. Make sure you can see your toes, or at least work towards it by taking the shins and the knees back if you've lost sight completely. Keep lifting through the heart. Keep nudging those ribs towards the back. Deep breath in and out. And as we breathe our next breath in and out, we'll come back to our Utkatasana, our standing posture. And you might like to just stay here for a moment. Check in to see what's happened to your energy, what's happened to your breath. And this is one round of Sun Salutation B. If you like, you can repeat this video as many times as you like to build up additional rounds of Sun Salutation B into your practice. Again, it's a very structured practice and a great basis for building a little bit of creativity and moving intuitively a bit later on, once you have this firm foundation in your practice. So again, you can repeat it, or if you like, you can just take a moment to stand in your mountain pose. Breathe. Lower the gaze or close your eyes. Allow the breath to come back to its more natural rhythm. If you feel that your breath got challenged throughout the practice, because it really does get the heart pumping. And if you like this practice, please do subscribe and tell your friends. And I'll see you on the mat for our next practice. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. Namaste.